All right, let's get right into it. Google just dropped a huge update that's aimed squarely at the Office software you and I use every single day. We're talking about a massive overhaul to Google Workspace, embedding its Gemini AI so deeply that it could fundamentally change how we work.
Just think about that for a second. That blinking cursor on a blank screen, it's probably one of the biggest roadblocks to getting anything done. Well, Google's new playbook is all about making that blank page a thing of the past. So what's really going on here? Google is moving way beyond just having separate AI tools that you pop open. Instead, they're weaving Gemini right into the fabric of docs, sheets, and slides. The whole point is to create what they're calling an AI-native environment. The AI isn't an add-on anymore. It's the foundation of everything.
Let's kick things off with Google Docs, because this is where you feel the change right away. We've all been there, right? Staring at that new document, just trying to figure out where to even begin. It's a total time suck and a creativity killer.
Okay, so now, instead of that blank page, you can just give Gemini a prompt like this one. And here's the absolute game changer. This isn't just spitting out generic text. Gemini is securely scanning your personal Google Drive, reading your emails in Gmail, and pulling info from the web to create a full, context-aware draft in seconds. It knows your stuff.
And when you look at the new features, you can see just how deep this goes. Yeah, it generates full drafts from a simple prompt, but you can also refine the text with simple instructions, like make this more formal. And get this, it can even learn your personal writing style so everything actually sounds like you wrote it. It can even take your existing templates and just fill them out automatically. All that busy work is just gone.
And look, this smartest isn't just for writing documents. That same powerful, context-aware AI is now being plugged into spreadsheets and presentations, and it's here to tackle some of the most complex and, let's be real, frustrating parts of office work.
Come on, let's be honest. For a lot of us, Google Sheets is intimidating. You know it's powerful, but trying to figure out the right structure, the formulas, the organization, it can be a total headache.
So here's the huge shift. You don't really build a spreadsheet anymore. You just describe the one you want. You give it a prompt like this, and Gemini doesn't just plug in data, it designs the entire structure. It actually builds the tables, creates the right categories, and pulls it all together using info straight from your files and your inbox.
And this automation is wild. Gemini can design the whole spreadsheet, sure, but there's this feature called Fill with Gemini that almost gets rid of manual data entry completely. So, say you're tracking college applications. You can just drag down a column and boom! Gemini automatically fills it in with application deadlines and tuition fees it finds on Google Search. The same idea applies to Google Slides. I think a lot of people would agree making presentations is one of the worst parts of their job. Well, now, a single sentence can whip up an entire slide deck, pulling context from your flight confirmations, your hotel bookings, all your travel plans. You're not the builder anymore, you're the creative director, just telling the AI what to tweak.
Now, this next part might actually be the biggest conceptual leap in this whole update. Google Drive is shifting from being a simple digital filing cabinet to becoming something much more powerful. Think of it like a personal knowledge base that understands the context of your entire digital life.
And this lays it out perfectly. The old way, keyword search, was so clumsy. If you couldn't remember the exact file name or the right words, you were just out of luck. The new way actually understands what you mean. You can search for that document about last year's revenue numbers, and it just finds it. It turns your storage into actual, usable knowledge.
Building on that, there's this Ask Gemini feature that lets you basically ask questions of your entire digital life. You could literally select all your tax documents for the past 5 years and ask, what questions should I ask my tax advisor this year? And Gemini will synthesize an answer based on the real content in your personal files. It's wild.
So, all these amazing features you see on the surface, they're really just the tip of the iceberg. To make any of this possible, Google had to build some seriously powerful new tech that's running behind the scenes.
And this is it, Gemini Embedding 2. To put it simply, this new AI model is kind of like a universal translator. It takes all these different types of information and turns them into a special mathematical format, these things called vectors, that a computer can actually understand and compare.
You know, before this, developers would often need different AI models for different kinds of content. But now, this one model can understand and process text, images, video, audio, and even the stuff inside your PDFs all together in a single system. That's a huge simplification and a massive jump in what's possible.
Okay, so how does it handle all that data without grinding to a halt?
Well, it uses this really clever technique called matryoshka representation learning. The name comes from those Russian nesting dolls, which is a perfect way to think about how it works. It's all about making search way faster and cheaper, but without sacrificing accuracy.
Here's how that nesting doll idea actually works. First, the system does a super fast scan using a smaller, less detailed version of your data. Think of it like a quick sketch. Once it has a short list of possible matches, then it brings out the full, high-detail version to precisely re-rank just that small group. It's an incredibly smart and efficient two-step process.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. These features are really impressive on their own, but they're also part of a much bigger strategic war being fought by the world's biggest tech companies. This is a battle for the future of work.
And the scale we're talking about here is just mind-boggling. I mean, Workspace itself has around 300 million active users, but Google's entire ecosystem reaches 3 billion people. When Google makes a fundamental change like this, it doesn't just impact a few offices. It has the potential to completely reshape how work gets done on a global scale.
And they've got the data to back it all up. In a real-world test for spreadsheet editing, Gemini and Sheets hit a success rate of over 70%. Now, not only is that way ahead of other AI systems, but it's getting shockingly close to the performance of an actual human expert. So what's the end game here? This isn't just about rolling out some cool new features. This is a calculated shot across the bow at competitors like Microsoft. The goal is to create a seamless, all-in-one, AI-first ecosystem that's so good you'll never want to leave. The race to define the future of productivity is officially on. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As these incredibly powerful AI tools start to take over the mechanical parts of our jobs, the how we do things, what does that mean for us? What skills suddenly become more valuable? And how will we measure our own creativity and contribution in this new AI-native world?